We are here once again to close out the week, going into the weekend. First day of spring. It's a little overcast, cloudy. If this was a month ago, it'd be a damn near blizzard right now. So I take the rain over the snow any day, and twice on Sunday. I gotta admit, man, I am starving, extremely hungry, man. Gotta pick up some food from this Mexican restaurant in town. I should get there within 30 minutes. I got myself some fajitas. Yo, I was just thinking about something, man. On the song I Left My Wallet in El Segundo by A Tribe Called Quest, I don't remember the lyrics specifically, but Q-Tip was saying it was him, Ali Shaheed, Muhammad, Fife Dog, and I think Jerobi was in the video, but he was saying all the stuff that they ordered. I can't remember everything. He was like, I ordered the tacos, Fife Dog ordered the enchiladas, and Ali Shaheed ordered the fruit punch. Like, who the hell go to a restaurant? You in El Segundo, your homies, this dude ordered the tacos, this dude ordered the enchiladas, this dude ordered the quesadillas, and you just ordered the fruit punch only? What is you, a vegan? What, you don't like Mexican food? The only thing that you trust there is their juice? That's it? If you go to a restaurant, the only thing you want to order from that restaurant is the fruit punch, maybe you should just go to a different restaurant. I ain't gonna lie. We all got big platters, and your ass is drinking juice like a child with nothing else in it, with nothing else in front of you. I don't know. That was just my little rant. That was a random thought that I had. I was just randomly thinking about the lyrics. My brain it just be randomly, random memories just pop up. I just think of random things, and I never really have the opportunity to really express it unless my girlfriend's next to me, and then I randomly tell her some random fact that she doesn't care about. You know what I mean? And then she just wound up getting pissed off at me, saying that I talk too much. So I pretty much had no home for those random thoughts until now. Now, if some random ish just pop in my head, you can do that with stand-up comedy. You could just randomly just mention it, man. See Jason Hilton on. What up, Jay? I ain't see you in a few weeks. Yo, Jay, I can't really see too good, but your picture, your avatar picture, you look like Mario, the singer. Baby, you just don't get it. Do you enjoy being hurt? I know you smell the perfume, the makeup on your shirt. You would believe the stories, cause there are lies. Bad as you want, stick around and just walk by. Baby, you should let me love you. Let me be like Mario face says. There's another song. Oh, there's another song that sounds just like that Mario song that came out maybe a year after that. Trey Songz. I can't help but wait to you, see you, to what you really are. Baby girl, you are a star, cause I can't help but wait. It's the same damn song. Baby, you should let me love you. Let me, cause I can't help but wait. You can literally, if you was a DJ, you can blend Trey Songz' I Can't Help But Wait with Mario's You Should Let Me Love You. They pretty much got the same tempo, the same vibe. I be finding the patterns in music and stuff like that all the time, yo. All the time. Yesterday I did the majority of material. Today I'm gonna just talk. Listen, it's Friday. We gonna chop it up. We gonna shoot the breeze. I gave y'all 45 minutes straight of just jokes yesterday. Now, I'ma just talk, man. I'ma just riff. Whatever comes to mind, comes to mind. Whatever comes to head, comes to my head, man. Know one thing, man. I feel extremely weak. Been losing a lot of fluids out of my body. For those that know me have known I don't like doing boo-boo jokes, but I've been dealing with IBS for the past 5 years, but like consciously, like knowing what it is for the past 2 years. And I've been taking different things like from laxatives to enemas to probiotics, like all kinds of stuff. And I think I finally found the right combination of stuff because my body has been expelling like crazy and I just feel weak, man. I feel like I'm in a concentration camp right now. I want to eat, mad hungry, but I'm gonna wait till I get this Mexican food. I'm gonna just drink water. Gotta replenish your fluids when your body starts excavating and stuff like that. Not for this feeling in my stomach, man. I feel like I can still do a backflip. I feel like I can still touch the rim on a basketball court. That just hurt, man. When you got lower intestine problems, man, just squatting down and trying to pick up something. It's painful, man. I just realized a lot of times old people don't move slow because their bones is old. Old people be walking slow because they just got a lot of backed up stuff in their intestines, man. That's what it really is. But hey, aging is a blessing. If you are fortunate enough to make it to a certain age and accrue a level of wisdom, you are ahead of a lot of individuals whose lives, you know, for whatever reason, just didn't make it that far. So I'm cool with that. All good with that. So what y'all got going on this weekend? For nobody that's watching me. So since I know nobody's watching me, I'm about to reframe this whole thing, man. Hopefully on the weekend, y'all got some good things going on for this introduction to our spring, even though it's pretty overcast. Want to see y'all going to barbecues. Is it too early in the year to barbecue? Black folks, man, as soon as the temperature is 30 degrees, 20 degrees higher than what it was, we're bringing a grill out. You know what I mean? It could be 0 degrees for 2 weeks. As soon as it's 20 degrees, man, we having a barbecue, we playing spades. You know what I mean? We doing we dancing to Frankie Beverly and Maze, doing the electric slide. All it takes is a 20-degree difference. And conversely, if the temperature dropped 20 degrees, we put on bubble coats. It could be 100 degrees outside, man. That temperature dropped 20 degrees. Black people was having on snow boots, bubble coats, man. Because that's the thing about temperature, man. Whenever it changes dramatically, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, everything is relative. If we used to it being cold, it's been 0 degrees for like ever, and then all of a sudden it's 30 or 40 degrees, that's fat man summer. That's what I call the fat boy summer weather. Because, you know, we already got enough padding and insulation with our blubberous body and hanging flesh. So when it's 40 degrees, I'm sweating, man. I got my sweat rag. You know what I mean? 40 degrees outside, because I'm big. I'm big boned today. I want to know what y'all doing, man. This is my brother hopped on. Shout out to Jared. Your name was almost Jared. That's funny. Gerard is a definitive of Jared. That's an effed up name to have, Jared. Like, Jared was always a cool name until the dude from Subway just did what he did. Damn. Now if your name is Jared, like, what parent would rightfully, like, naming your child Jared is like naming your child Adolf. It's just certain names, certain people have ruined names so poorly that it would not be wise to give your children certain monikers, you know? You're not gonna name your son Jared. You're not gonna name your son Adolf. Let me think of another. For a while they was gonna say you can't name your son Bill because of Cosby, but it's too many. It's a lot of Bills. It's Bill Cosby, whose conviction was overturned, but still he's a whoremonger. He's a cheater. You got Bill Clinton. He be cheating on his hoes too. If they tell me Bill Nye, the science guy, got hoes, man, listen, man, they might have to retire the name Bill too. But the only thing Bill Nye, the science guy, be blowing up his test tubes. You know what I'm saying? I guess he don't be blowing up box. He blow up experiments. Bill. Even the name Michael. And that's a hard name to cancel because there's a lot of, for every Michael that was controversial, there's a bunch of good Michaels too. Like Mike Tyson was controversial for a while, but now he's the most stoic, calm person on earth. Michael Jackson had a lot of those allegations and stuff against him, but he was never convicted of anything. And then when they went into his porno vault, they found no gay porn and no illegal porn. Because if they did, they would be talking about that. Like, when they trying to get at somebody, trying to get at you, they always fabricate stuff. But if they had hardcore truth, like real stuff, they would absolutely share it. That's how I know Michael Jackson ain't doing it, man. He definitely was weird. But if he had illegal pornography, listen, they would have his face, or what used to be his face, right next to all of his illegal materials that he had, man. Yo, I'm mad. I gotta stop. Like, my blood sugar is crazy low. I'm living off of Altoids right now, man. Altoids is what I'm living on. But they said when you kind of feel hungry and weak, especially if you're a fat dude, you should just ignore it. Because what's going to happen is your ketones are starting, when your body starts to get hungry, but you're not satiating that hunger with sustenance. It's just a scream out for it needs energy. So what happens is you're not giving it carbohydrates, because that's what the body craves carbohydrates. Especially like if you eat, like I always eat cake. I eat stuff I'm not supposed to be eating, but your body craves that stuff first as its primary energy source. And when your body can't get those carbohydrates, what happens is it needs an alternative source of energy. It needs fats. And so what happens is your liver produces ketones. Ketones are a chemical that once the liver releases this chemical, it breaks down the fats in your body as an alternative energy source. And that's called ketosis. When your body gets to that, when you start to feel weak, your body is starting to go into ketosis. It's because it's looking for another energy source. Liver produces the ketones, and the ketones start to break down the fat in your body. And you use that as an alternative energy source. And then that's how you naturally start to lose weight when you go into that point. That's why people do the keto diet. Because basically, essentially, you starve yourself into a point until you go into a ketosis. You starve yourself with carbohydrates, you go into ketosis, your liver produces ketones, the ketones attack the fat, and you start to lose weight. But it takes mad willpower to get to that point. I understand the logic, but I'm about to have some cookies. I need to eat something, man. I feel weak as hell, and I gotta stop at Price Chopper anyway, so I ain't gonna go too crazy, but definitely gonna get me some Reese's peanut butter cups with the caramel in it. Delicious. Reese's peanut butter cup with the caramel inside, man. It's funny. When I was young, as hard as it is to believe, I was always like a skinny kid. Like, I didn't really start getting my grown man weight until I was about 22, 23. But when I was a young kid, I was always little. When I was little, I used to always want to be 200 pounds. I felt like you ain't a man unless you're 200 pounds. I always wish that I was 200 pounds. Now, as a man well over 200 pounds, I still wish I was 200 pounds. Some things don't change. I'm 50 pounds overweight, man. At one point, I was almost 80 pounds overweight, so guess I'm doing a little better. Last time I checked, I'm at 255. Now, before I met my girlfriend, I was at I got down to 238. She liked to eat. She liked to eat out. And she eats a lot. You know, she's a tiny woman. And by default, if you're a woman and eat a lot, it is not judgmental about the food consumption. The man will follow suit, and I should be leading her. I just gotta eat smaller portions. I do better. I'm bougie now. I don't do processed cakes. I don't do processed pies. I don't do processed cookies anymore. If you're diabetic, the last aisle you should be getting your cookies from is an aisle. You're supposed to be getting them next to produce. Is usually the bakery. That's where you're supposed to be getting your baked goods and your cookies. Don't walk down the aisle. The aisle is death. You might as well be walking down the Green Mile if you got diabetes and you shop for snacks and bread. Damn, I got to take it a step further, man, because I still will have a tendency to get my bread from the aisle. Nope. You can get bread from the bakery too. They cost a little more, but it's better on your body. You be eating cookies in a package with all types of preservatives. It could be like nuclear fallout. 500 years from now, they'll still have like perfectly wrapped packages of Oreos, Chips Ahoy cookies, and Keeblers. You see them experiments they did with like all the preservatives they put in like McDonald's cheeseburgers. Like some dude just had a McDonald's cheeseburger for like 20 years and like it never went rotten. So we looking for the fountain of youth. We looking for the key of immortality. We may have inadvertently discovered it. McDonald's cheeseburgers, man. Why do you think McDonald Trump? I don't eat anything healthy. The only thing I eat is cheeseburgers. I weigh 185 pounds. Like Donald Trump, really? You really think you weigh 185 pounds, man? Might be onto something though, man. The key to life is in a Big Mac. What if that was the case? Because it never gets old. It never dies. Like, we've got meat patties that have not spoiled in bread that has not gone rotten in 20 years. How can, we need to figure out how to synthesize the chemicals in those burgers and buns and put it in humans to make us live forever on this wild planet. See, that's the thing, man. We keep chasing our ego and wanting to live forever in this particular form when that's not what it's about. It is about enjoying this experience as much as possible. When you was a little kid, you were in first grade, you may have had a great time, but eventually you had to go to the second grade. Great time. Third grade. Great time. You keep going to different grades and you finally get to high school. You know what I mean? And you get through high school. And your senior year was awesome, but then you got to go to college and you're in freshman year. And then you go through all that. And then you're in grad school. And that's about 2 years. And you go through that. Then you go through your specialist school, whether you're trying to be a lawyer or a doctor or something of that nature. Then you get through that. You know what I mean? And then you become a practicing doctor or a nurse or a paralegal or whatever. And then you go to the next phases, you know, and it's always... Every stage that we go through in reality was never meant to just stay in that phase. You enjoy the phase, you embrace the phase for the moment, and then when it's time to graduate to the next phase, you don't try to fight and stay. You graduate, man. Trying to hold on to this life and only want to live forever in this physical form is like the dude that keeps intentionally staying back in the 12th grade. You old as hell. You the oldest dude in 12th grade. You're like 47 years old, a 47-year-old, a senior in high school, looking crazy as hell. Embrace going to the next moment. I went from comedic to philosophical. I probably think I'm crazy, but these ketones in my bloodstream got me damn near hallucinating, man. Need to hurry up and get home. I've never been a drug user, man. I've done weed before. Yo, let me tell you my first time. Hey, my bad. just went through some type of dead spot, man. But yeah, I don't do alcohol, I don't do drugs, anything like that. I did try, marijuana here and there before I got into the CDL life, but I remember when weed was legalized in California around 2018. Me and my boy Cliff Mueller, we was in Los Angeles for my 39th birthday. This was legit. Damn. 8 years ago. It really was. It was freaking 2018. And now we trying gummies and stuff like that. Give you a little buzz, but you know what I mean? I was drinking a lot of liquor back then. Maybe I couldn't tell. I couldn't really tell what's going on. But anyway, I'll tell you the story about the first time I took a weed brownie. Now, this brownie had to be about $60. It was like this big, like a nice little square. I don't know the milligrams, but we'll talk about that later. At any rate, I had a show in Burbank, California. I forget the name of the spot. Oh, I was in Springbok. It was in Springbok, California. It was near Burbank. Because Cliff had a show in Burbank. I dropped him off in Burbank. I had a show at the Springbok. And I was hungry. But I was, I think the way the lineup was set up, I don't know if I was the first comedian, but yeah, I think I was the first comedian. And Cliff was doing he had a show at some dispensary place. I can't remember exactly what it was. But when I saw that I was first on the list, Cliff told me that they had an open mic right after the show. So I was like, oh, that's dope. So once I'm done this show, I could just shoot over there to the open mic. I'm in LA. I'm trying to do as many mics as possible. Whatever. Cool. So I'm getting hungry, right? So I'm like, damn, I'm hungry, but if I order some food, I don't know exactly when it's gonna come out. So I'm gonna just bite a little piece of this brownie, a little corner of the brownie. This is gonna tire me over. So I bit the brownie and I'm drinking some weird tequila. I don't know what the hell I was drinking. Now the show is supposed to start at 8, but it got delayed. It's like 8:15. I'm like, damn, I don't know when this show gonna start. So I ate another piece of the brownie. And finally, the show was still delayed, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just order some food, whatever. And I remember exactly what I ordered. It was a tuna melt. I was big on the tuna melts back then, with a little bacon on the tuna melt, side of fries, had me a little drink, whatever. Boom. I was like, Bubba, so whatever, I ate another piece of the brownie. I'm having a good time. I'm feeling festival, eating drinks, eating the brownie and all that. And as I was doing that, I texted Cliff. I was like, yeah, I'm going up first. So boom, as soon as I'm done, I'm gonna shoot right over to you. And mind you, I had taken gummy edibles the day before, so I'm thinking whatever. I'm not thinking about nothing. I don't know if it's the liquor that I was drinking mixed with the edibles, but all of a sudden, everything just started sounding like an echo. So the server comes by. Is everything good? Good. You okay? Okay. You need anything else? Now, he was just being a server, but in my mind, this motherfucker know I'm high, trying to, what I mean? So I'm feeling embarrassed about that. So I was like, just give me the check. Whenever you can. But the crazy thing about the echo and shit, not only did when I spoke or when I heard the sound echoey, my own thoughts sounded echoey. So my mind was like, oh, shit. Shit, crazy. The drugs really hit. What am I going to do? So I didn't want to waste the food. So I packed up the food, I paid my bill, I walked to the car, put the sandwich in the car or whatever, and I came back in, and it was like, I was high out of my mind, and I was fucking terrified. So as the show is about to happen, I'm thinking to myself, damn. I can't do the show. I'm paranoid. And I was so paranoid, I thought I was going to get a DUI for walking. That's how high I was. And then all I could think of was my mother going to be real disappointed in me. You know what I mean? My brain was starting to just revert to a guilty child. And I was thinking about not even doing it. I was so high. I was thinking about not even doing the show. I'm like, this shit is crazy. And they had a weird stage at the Springbok. Because the way the stage was, you had to climb, or the stage was kind of high, but they didn't have steps. to walk you up the stage, so you had to climb on the stage. But before we get to that point, I'm like high as shit, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, you know what? Richard Pryor used to do stand-up comedy high always, man. So this is my Richard Pryor moment. Just make sure you record it. I got this recorded. So, you know what I'm saying? But before they called me up, I was talking to the guy that booked me. And he was a bigger guy, but what was crazy was his body got real big and his arms got real skinny. And like, that shit was mad funny to me, but I didn't want him to know that I was laughing at his appearance and how everything was morphing. Like his body was getting big and his arms was getting like pencil thin. Like I was like trying to keep the laugh to myself. And then eventually I saw two small adults. Like there was two regular sized adults and two small adults. I couldn't tell if the adults were children or if they were adults. I didn't, or if they was little people. I couldn't really tell, but I was like, damn, man, I don't know if these is kids or if these adults, but I'm definitely not going to do dirty material in front of kids, man. I'm not going to do that. Because I had started doing clean comedy even way back then. I started doing clean comedy like within 2017. So now, panicking, dude that booked me, his body getting big, his arms getting skinny, looking at these little minions. I don't know if they children or if they little people. I'm looking at the stage. I got to climb on stage. I'm thinking about Richard Pryor or whatever. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it. So they call me, coming to the stage all the way from Connecticut to Los Angeles, Maurice Green. So I kind of climb on stage. Yo. And at that moment, my mind drew a complete blank. I had no idea what to say. And then there was a woman in the audience that just reminded me of my mom, and she was wearing green. So like the whole time I'm looking at this woman thinking that she's just disappointed in me of being high while on stage, and I can't think of no jokes. Like the way my jokes used to start, like that set, the way it used to go is, because usually like wherever I perform that, I always go, travel a long way in order to perform jokes for a short amount of time. So normally it would go, I drove 30 minutes to perform, I drove for 2 hours to perform 30 minutes. I should have said, I flew 5 hours to perform for 5 minutes. That sounds like the conclusion to most of my Tinder dates. That sounds like the conclusion to most of my Tinder dates. But my brain just drew a blank. Like I've came so far, so now I got a star to make sure my jokes is up to par. I don't want you to get scarred. Like for some reason, because I used to be a rapper and a freestyler, for some reason, I thought rhyming was funny and rhyming was okay. So I'm just rhyming throughout, not being funny. These people don't know what the hell is going on. And then I was like, I pointed out the kids or the adults or whoever, the little people, and I asked the bigger people, I was like, are those your children? He's like, yep, those are our kids. And so I'm like, okay, I got confirmation. I was like, okay, oh yeah, so yeah, okay, I'm not about to curse in front of them. I was like, oh, come on, man, they can take it. I was like, listen, I don't care. I'm not going to be the person that corrupts your children. I am not cursing in front of your kids. So that like further limited my comedy. So I'm panicking. I knew I had 8 minutes. And so I asked the audience, how much time went by so far? It was like 2 minutes. It felt like 30. I was like, 2? It was like, yeah. The only thing that saved me, and it was a thing that saved me all through high school, all through middle school, got me in trouble sometimes too, was roasting. I just started roasting audience members, man. I can't remember everything I said, but I was like, this guy looks like Bob Saget mixed with Bob Hope. I'm gonna just make up stuff. This woman looks like Katie Seagal mixed with Cher. Once I started doing that, it saved me. I had people laughing. I was roasting people left and right. You know what I'm saying? I said somebody like Mr. Rogers mixed with Danny Tanner from Full House. Like that part, I was doing okay. You know what I mean? Then I finally finished the set, got some claps. Like I saved myself, but I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Literally, brain just like drew a complete blank, and I was rapping and roasting. That's what got me through. Like my foundational skills as an artist maybe at least power through the set. Definitely didn't get me booked again. I was a terrible first impression for anybody who's ever seen me perform for the first time. Oh my God, this man is clearly not taking the craft seriously. And he's drunk and he's out of his mind, making a fool of himself. And you can hear all of this. I mean, I didn't say that, but nobody said that. That's me riffing right now in the moment, imagining a Karen judging me for being so terrible in that moment. So anyway, you hear me breathing, walking, you hear like the music and the club sounds get quiet, and you hear the street sounds more. You hear me get into the car, close the door. Oh my God. Oh God, I gotta call Cliff. And then you finally hear the recording end. And so I call Cliff. I'm like, yo, Cliff, man. Yo, I don't know what's going on, but the edible, like, it really kicked in. And I feel terrible, man. I'm in the back. Mind you, I went in the back seat, took my shoes off. I was just mad hot, whatever. It's like, yo, you have to come out here, man. I cannot drive this car. You're gonna have to take an Uber to the spot. I told him like the address of it, but I wasn't parked like in front of the. I wasn't parked in front of the club. I was like parked a few cars back or whatever. And what happened? So basically, I described to him where I was. I was like, yo, I remember the car. It's like, yo, it's like a red Chevy Cavalier. And it's funny. The funny thing about that Chevy Cavalier reference is I love the movie Swingers. And Mikey, the main character, used to drive a red Cavalier. And one of my goals when I was in LA is to visit all the landmarks that the movie referenced. But I was so high and drunk the whole time I was out there, I totally forgot to do that. So when I go to LA in June this time, I'm going to definitely make sure I hit all those places that they talked about in the movie Swingers. But at any rate, I was like, yo, I'm at the, in front of the Springbok Club, bar, whatever. It's in front of blah, 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 whatever. Yeah, man, yo, just come through. Like whenever you done, man, I need you, man. Like, it's crazy. So now, I'm in the back seat and I just keep throwing up. I don't got no nap because I had a hoodie. So every time I threw up, it felt like just oceans and oceans and oceans of water was just projecting from my esophagus. It's like, I didn't care, man. It was a rental car. I'm just throwing up. I'm just feeling like tons and tons of oceans of water just coming out of my chest. And then I'm just having all types of hallucinations. Like my mind is just flashbacks and, just recounting my life. And then I see like this thing, it looks like tie-dye, like some type of tie-dye portal. Like it almost looks like a sheet, but it's telling me, I was like, yo, if I walk beyond that portal, I'm gonna die. I'm not gonna wake up. So stay away from that portal, because that portal, that tie-dye sheet portal signifies death. Do not go to it, man. And so I'm in the back, I'm high as hell, I'm curled up in the fetal position, you know what I'm saying? I keep throwing up, just buckets of throw up, just vomiting, I'm just throwing up all the tuna and all the Casamigos, whatever the hell I was drinking, just coming out of my chest. And I'm just thinking about my mother, I'm crying and shit, thinking that she's gonna be disappointed in me because I was high off these edibles and she don't know me to use marijuana or anything like that, and I'm just geeking. And then finally, like, I hear a knock on the window, and I see it's a police officer. He got his hat on, he got his light flashing in the back seat, you know what I'm saying, got the blue uniform. And I was like, man, I'm about to get another DUI. This is crazy. And then all of a sudden, just as I came to and I opened the door, because I'm there, this cop got me, man. It's crazy. I'm about to get arrested in Los Angeles. As soon as I said that, the cop's face transformed and his body transformed, and it wound up being Cliff. I hallucinated thinking that Cliff was a white cop, but he wound up being my knight in shining armor. Now, Cliff at the time, he had just got his license, but he didn't have a lot of experience with driving at that particular time. And he just wanted to drive so bad. He's like, yo, I'm gonna drive us back to the hotel. The hotel, mind you, was 45 minutes from where we was at. I forget the highways in Los Angeles, but like 7-lane highways. Even though it was late at night, I said, Cliff, you've never driven on a highway in your entire life. If I try to drive, we're going to die. But if you try to drive, we definitely going to die. And you don't know how to use the GPS. He never used it before at that particular time. But he still wanted to drive. So what he did was he took us off the main street. He went to a side street, because he just wanted to drive and park. This cat did the most terrible parking job ever. It was mad awkward. I was like, bro, and this is what you wanted to do? You could barely drive 500 feet to the next street and park properly, man. So basically, you know what I'm saying, slept there. I said, Cliff, I just need some time for this drug to wear off a little bit. I said, yo, let me just let this wear off, and then I'm gonna get us home. Trust me. I said, me making sure you get home safe is gonna be our driving force. Pun intended. So finally, it kind of wore off a little bit, to the point where I had a little more coherence, but I definitely was still high. Took over, got in the driver's seat, got in the passenger seat. And mind you, speed limit in LA is 75 miles per hour on those highways. Now, it was at night, so the traffic wasn't busy at all. And I drove 40 miles per hour on the 75 highway the whole way back home, man. Long story short, both went to sleep in different rooms, different beds, obviously, because, no Diddy. Woke up the next day still high. And we had planned on going to the Hollywood sign. Wasn't as high as I was the night before, but I still was like, yo, I shouldn't be doing nothing but trying to recover. So we went to the Hollywood sign, to the trail. We high, walking up the hills, or the Hollywood Hills, the cliffs or whatever. And for the cliff, for some reason, he wanted to walk on the edge. Cliff wanted to walk on the edge of the cliff. And I'm thinking to myself, this motherfucker about to fall off the mountain and die. Now I got to explain to his pops how we went on a vacation together. And this nigga's dead. I'm coming back by myself without home and shit. So, I'm like, yo, Cliff, man, get up, walk. I had to treat him like a shorty, man. I'm like, yo, walk on the inside, man. I don't walk on the outside of this shit, man. Because he was staggering and shit. It took us 2.5 hours to get to the front of the Hollywood sign, whatever. And it took us another, and then literally an hour and a half coming down. This is 3 o'clock the next day. I took that edible 8 o'clock the day before, man. The high just went away like it was never there. That ish was crazy. I told myself I would never do edibles again. But the thing is, and my brother taught me, he was like, yo, when you do weed, stuff like that, like marijuana, you're not, he said, the mistake you made, one, I ate too much. I probably ate 1,000 milligrams. I didn't realize it. And two, you got to embrace it. Don't feel guilty about the weed. Just embrace it, enjoy the moment, and revel in the moment. Don't feel guilty about it. Just embrace it. Me, I was fighting it. And that's what, and feeling insecure and feeling embarrassed. It just magnified me trying to resist it. That's pretty much what happened. So that's my weed story. I don't know how I could tell that on stage. I'm just on some Ali Sadiq. I just gotta really, really perform it, make it seem interesting. But that jump's crazy, man. And I've done edibles since then. I understand to embrace it and know your milligram dosage. You're like, yeah, this is me 9 years later. But now I can't even do that or 8 years later rather. But now, I got the commercial driver's license, so that's out. But it's okay because I know how to get myself. All drugs do is basically get you to a place faster that you can get on your own through meditation. You know what I'm saying? That's all it does, essentially, man. And I would go into depth and detail of how to do that, but you're going to have to look that up because I'm done. I'm about to get out here. I got to buy some from Price Chopper, and I got to pick up some food for me and my lady. And I'm going to enjoy the weekend. Like I tell comedians always, comedians think funny first, drama, never stay out of the drama, stay out of the gossip, stay out of the rumor mill. Just focus on your craft, hit the stages, record everything, write, edit. And like I always say, there is no such thing as writer's block. If you have what you think is writer's block, that is the universe no longer giving you ideas because the universe wants you to flesh out ideas that you already had written. With that being said, I'll holla at y'all. Y'all have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Happy spring. Peace.